Hot.
Okay, I can hear you. Everybody's mic is hot. 1 minute, Marion. Let me get.
Okay. No, I was just.
I ain't gonna forget. I recorded it. It's recording already.
Are we ready for me now?
Just 1 minute.
I think you're Jamaican.
The mic's hot. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to Coco Chats with me, your host, Marion Dozier of CocoWire.net, the website that provides news, events, and useful information to communities of color in Palm Beach County. That's CocoWire.net if you want to know what's happening here with us in Palm Beach County. And as we do on this show and on CocoWire.net, we will continue to tell the stories of our communities of the African diaspora, which, as you are aware, I'm sure, are African Americans, Caribbean blacks, and Native Africans, so that we all get a better sense of how rich and interesting our communities are. And that would include today's program, of course. Today's show features our communities, yes, but it also features the young. The young as in millennials. But you may wonder, what is a millennial? Millennials are also known as Generation Y-ers, which is the demographic group that follows Generation X and precedes Generation Z. Generation Z just graduated from high school, of course. Their birth years run essentially from the early 1980s to the late 1990s. So anyone who is now aged 23 to 38 is considered a millennial. Like today's host on Coco Chats, Jada Brown, the owner of Trove Productions, who was born in 1997. She is here. She will introduce herself and her guest, another millennial, Gerald Hearns, who is also, as I said, a millennial, and they'll talk about what it's like to be a millennial in today's day and age. Jada Brown, welcome to the takeover for the day of Coco Chats.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us and, well, taking over from us. So go ahead, Miss Lady.
Okay,
the show's on.
Thank you.
Yay.
Okay, so good evening to all the listeners of Super Jams. Welcome to another elevating episode of Coco Chats, a subsidiary of CocoWire.net, a forum for interesting stories, community enriching events, and useful information for communities of color in South Florida. I am Jada Brown, the creator of Trove Productions, your guest host. The goal of Coco Chats, in part, is to recognize the progress and work being done in Palm Beach County and to speak to the voices behind the initiatives. This week is no different. Today, we'll be talking with Gerald Hearns, CEO of GBH Junior Enterprises, which includes Brick by Brick Academy, public speaker, financial coach, mentor, community leader, a personal trainer, this list goes on and on, athlete, college graduate, and my friend. So I know it sounds like he has a lot going on, and he does, and it's by no surprise. So the last time we spoke was 2 years ago on South Florida Sunday on X102.3. So today we're going to talk about all the things that you've done in between then and now. So first, I'm sure the brief introduction of you and your organization was not enough. So can you tell us more about who Gerald Hearns is?
Yes, first and foremost, thank you for the invite. It's definitely an honor to be here this evening. Thank you. So again, I am Gerald Hearns, here from West Palm Beach, Florida, and I grew up here since a young kid. And with my journey, it's definitely been inspiring to see how I have been able to overcome different phases of adversity You learn from some really great mentors, and just now be a community leader to serve in my neighborhood and find different opportunities for young men and women to now succeed and build their careers brick by brick.
Wow. So I know I want to know, and our listeners probably want to know, how old are you?
Currently, I just turned 24 this past August.
Wow. So what's your secret to behind someone as young as you to have accomplished so much in such a little amount of time?
One of the biggest secrets that I have is really maintaining faith. And myself being a believer, being an entrepreneur, in which I promote a lot, it can be very tough. It could damage relationships, friendships, family member relationships, because sometimes people may not see the vision as you. But you have to trust in the process to know that wherever you're trying to get to, in due time, you will be able to succeed. So that's one of my biggest secrets, just maintaining faith and being consistent.
So in terms of your, people around you maybe not seeing the vision as you see it, what gave you in yourself besides faith the ability to keep marching and, march past adversities?
Yes, one of my favorite quotes from a former coach is have no fear of failure, but only a desire to excel. And I think each and every day that I wake up, and I'm very thankful and grateful, I don't see failure being an option. When other people look at failure, it may be a letdown. Myself, I look at failures as a learning experience, and how can I become greater? How can I do this or that better? And that's what has been my daily motivation to continue striving for the greatness.
Wow. And it's funny that you've had this entrepreneurial spirit almost all your life, because I even remember in high school, you used to sell candy and snacks and food. Do you think that you were born with this?
It's definitely a gift. Certain things I guess you can't teach, but I do want to say by God's grace, I was blessed to have the best of both worlds from my mother's side and my father's side, being very educational, business mentality wise. And I was able to kind of like take that and also use my own personal life and things that I saw that I knew I did not want to become, and use that as motivation to become the man I am today.
So is that what Brick by Brick Academy is?
Yes, it definitely is. When I grew up in Riviera Beach, I witnessed my first experience of adversity due to a tragedy of my little brother's father. And after that day, and growing up selling lemonade, rubber band necklaces, candy, snacks, to get beefy socks, each and everything that I have done have been a phase of bricks being built.
Wow. So the bricks of your life are what you use to build yourself.
Yes.
Wow. So what caused you to be so interested in business at such a young age? I know you talked about like your parents, or is there anything else?
Yeah, so few things that I did learn is growing up on 30th Street at the time, roughly 2000, 2003, there were drug distributions going on in my environment, and I would see the police arrest those individuals or whatnot, and I knew that's something that I did not want to become. So that motivation was to find something positive to make money. And at that time, there was a gentleman named Mr. Calhoun, and he used to collect cans, aluminum and copper. And I used to just sit back and watch him, how he would collect all the cans. They would drink beer, and they would go and take it to the scrapyard on Tamarind. So at some point, roughly at 7 years old, I decided to take on that task and start collecting aluminum cans. I got some copper from a guy named Mr. Foster, and my mom eventually took me there, and I was able to make roughly $46. And I took that $46, and that's when I went to Family Dollar and started buying candy.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So instead of just getting the money from like your mom or a family member, you actually went out and worked for the money.
Correct. Yep.
So you already knew about investing before you really knew what that meant.
Yes.
Wow, that's amazing. So I know you played football. Where did you play, and how did this sport motivate you in terms of what you're doing now with Brick by Brick Academy?
Yes, great question. So with sports, it's definitely inspiring to grow up with a household full of brothers, in which I have 3 brothers, including myself. And we used to play street football. And me playing street football with them, I used to learn how to, draw up plays on the football, playing 7-on-7, or we'll call it toss them up, bust them up. So at some point in time, when I got to middle school at Roosevelt Middle, I was blessed to have some mentors that supported my journey and my vision of playing sports to help me buy my first pair of football cleats. And once I got those pair of football cleats, I was able to play for West Palm Beach Patriots at the time, Pop Warner team. Learned some really great things, had some great teammates, and that inspired me to transition to William T. Dwyer High School in 2009, 2010. So I went to every single workout, did not miss a day, did not miss a practice, and each of those experiences allowed me to become the man I am today, going to FAMU and FAU.
And then you played at FAMU and FAU football.
Yes.
And are you still playing football?
Yes, currently I'm playing for Team America. We actually have a game coming up roughly, I want to say December 13th-ish in Costa Rica.
Costa Rica?
Mm-hmm.
So what is Team America?
So Team America is an international football team, and the owner, his name is Mike Corte, black-owned company. And wow. With his expertise and relationships that he has built over a period of time, we have been fortunate enough to join the team and have the opportunity to travel and showcase our skills and talents.
Wow. So where are some of the places that you guys go to?
So some of the places are Cancun, Mexico, in which I had the opportunity to go there last year. We have been able to go to Toronto, Canada, Costa Rica, Virginia, D.C. area, and a few other locations they're working on.
That's awesome. And I know we touched on Brick by Brick Academy, but can you break it down more? Like, what do you guys do?
Yes. So as of recently, this past year, I want to say January, February, I had to revise my vision. When I first registered Brick by Brick Academy, I registered Brick by Brick Apparel in 2018. This was going off the transition of my original clothing line brand. And as I was making some good sales or whatnot, I had to realize that I had so many different talents. And people would come to me and ask me, hey, Gerald, I see you're doing this. I see you're doing that. What do you really do? So I thought to myself, what if I could take the education that I've learned and implement that within the system, such as education using the term academy? So roughly February, March, God blessed me with the vision to launch Brick by Brick Academy of Health and Wealth. So it's a dual approach of providing financial and fitness education and services to our guests. So as we educate young men and women on how to start a business, how to register an LLC, certain things about patents and trademarks, kind of having that trust in yourself. People need mentorship and guidance. And then on the fitness side, sometimes people may need motivation to go and work out, or they may not have a mentor or a trainer, someone that can break certain exercises down to them. So I wanted to start with that journey doing body weight type of training. So overall, we have been able to provide scholarships. We've been able to invest into the community, feeding the less fortunate, and partner up with different organizations and individuals that wanted to be a part of this mission.
Awesome. So, all right, playing devil's advocate. Mm-hmm. If I was a 60-year-old woman, right, and I wanted to start a business, why would I feel like you're qualified to be able to teach me and you're only 24 versus my 60 years?
That's a great question. One of the first things that I've learned and myself connected with other people that I question that same question that you just asked me, mm-hmm. It was finding a way, how can you relate to someone? No matter where you're from or what background you may be, myself being 24 years old, talking to a 6-year-old, I feel like I can break it down to them and say, hey, what are some things that you like? What are some things that you want to do in the near future? And seeing how can I utilize their response to maneuver their business plan. Hey, what kind of things you envision if you ever went through this form of adversity? Now I talk to them and I show them, if you experience this type of adversity, don't feel pressure. These are ways that you can overcome these situations or whatnot.
Mm-hmm. So on my social media, I've been seeing like a lot of influencers, I use that very loosely, saying that, we as Black people need to concentrate more on our physical health and what we're putting into our body, what we're feeding our body, right?
Correct.
And I know that you're not just an influencer, but you're actually, I wish this wasn't radio so they could see how fit that you are, And I know you're someone who's knowledgeable and has a deeper understanding of the issues and solutions. So can you just touch on health in our community? And do you believe that we're not open enough? And if not, like, what needs to be done and initiatives have you set in place?
Yes, phenomenal question. First and foremost, I think that over a few decades now, our culture, our community have not been exposed to mentors that was able to show them healthier ways to live, healthier ways to eat, healthier ways to think. So first and foremost, thinking about how we think is going to be needed. So having a person like myself at 24 years old, I don't want to come in and just say, hey, you got to eat these type of foods. You have to do these type of workouts. Let me ask you, why are you treating your body like this? What makes you crave for these type of foods or whatnot? What if I can help you minimize the risk of diabetes, minimize the risk of obesity and different things like that? And that's going to come with the mentorship side, being able to relate to them. And then people will be open to potentially start taking those steps to purchasing healthier foods, different strategies. So let's say, for an example, in our community, most times individuals may start eating pork chops at 9 or 10 o'clock before they go to sleep, in which that food is going to sit on their stomach. What if I can educate you and show you another way that you can change your portions of the size of the foods that you eat, and then before you go to sleep, your metabolism increase by the body weight training that we're doing together. Mentorship, doing calls, maybe 15 minutes a day or something like that, or once a week. So those are some things that I'm implementing to now be an asset to the community.
And then have you experienced this in your own, like, you know, close family or friends that has changed the way that you look at, you know, health, I guess?
Yes, it's been an honor to have some different clients per se that have trusted the process for me to train them. And I want to say I had a guy named Rashad Baker. Kudos to him. He reached out to me, in which he went to Dwyer as well, and he asked me for some recommendations. I was able to provide him a few recommendations, and he would see my post and he would go and do some of those similar exercises. And within 30 days of us communicating, he was able to shred. And at first, before talking to myself, it took him at least 5 or 6 months before he got to where he was, because he was working hard, but he was doing it the wrong way.
Right.
We was creating bad habits. So myself being able to mentor him, I was able to guide him on how to create greater habits.
And then I see that you have a mobile app coming soon.
Yes.
Can you talk about that a little? What's going to be on there? What to expect, you know?
Yes. So for the mobile app, I thought to myself that being a personal trainer in 2020, COVID has did a lot of damage in the way people think. The opportunity of being able to physically connect with people one-on-one, especially group training sessions. And I thought to myself, where if parents are educating their kids from home and they're taking online classes, and parents may have trouble going to work physically, what if I could provide a resource or a tool for them to be able to still learn, but also do fitness exercises from home? So that's what inspired me to work on my mobile fitness app. So it's going to provide a few different features, such as meal plan recommendations, live workout sessions. It'll provide different categories of exercises you can do, such as legs, core, upper body, cardio, yoga. And I think also yoga, in which, you know, I do that, I think that's going to be an important part for sometimes people to get more loose, more flexible and mobile.
Okay. And then while we have time, I want to talk about the wealth format of brick by brick, because that is so important. And I say this because obviously I'm a Black woman, and we hear that Black women start businesses more than anyone else. But yet at the same time, a lot of our businesses are the worst performing, you know, financially. Where do you think the disconnect comes from?
Great question. I think the biggest disconnect most times can come from generational debt. In our community and many other communities, we want something great, such as launching a business. We want nice houses. We want nice cars. We want the best Wi-Fi, the best cell phones. But we have $20,000 plus worth of debt. And sometimes as a kid, we may not have started that debt, but because of our parents, our great-grandparents have had such debt over a period of time, that carries on to us because of the habits that we saw when we was younger. So even myself and any other person that I mentor and I come in contact with, each of us in life are a work in progress. So I think moving forward, if we can minimize those type of debts, that will allow us to overcome some barriers and start working towards buying properties, investing into business, buying other businesses out, and so forth on.
And this is part of the wealth coaching that you do.
Correct.
That was an awesome point about the generational debt. I did not even think about that. So if someone is going to open a new business, they have no idea where to start, they don't know anything about what's named business, anything, but they have the will to do it.
Correct.
What single advice would you give them?
I do believe that when starting a business, it is great to have great mentors, people that you can comfortably open up to and share your ideas with, that maybe can utilize some of their resources to help you grow your vision and brand. For someone that's starting a business that may not have that luxury of support, because we do have technology at our fingertips, I do think it's valuable to go to places like Google and or YouTube and search how to start a business, how to register through the state, how to set up an EIN number, how should I market myself, how to brand, how to market. I think those are some valuable pieces that a new person can utilize into their business.
And these are all the things that you learned in college, because you graduated with business administration, right?
Yes, some of those features I learned in college, but majority of them was also self-taught, because I would put myself in a position at 7 or 8 years old to use Google when I was in school, to come home and read certain books. And even that, when social media really started trending at the time, instead of me spending 2 and 3 hours on social media, I would spend like 30 minutes on social media, but use that other hour and a half actually engaging on online to start my business.
And networking. How important is networking in terms of opening a business?
Networking is important. It's extremely important. I think if I didn't know anything about business, God bless me to talk. I can talk all day and get paid. Like, I can talk all day. Yeah, so for any business, it comes with being able to communicate with a potential guest or a client to succeed, to generate that source of income. So when you think about it, if a business can't communicate or articulate what their product or service is, then the guest or the potential client may not invest in it because they don't know what they're signing up for. So I think being able to get out, talk to people, I think it's great to feel open. Share with people what you do. You never know how that contact may help you 5 months down the line, 2 or 3 years down the line. And that's been a blessing for myself to have people I've communicated with in the past who have now saw my vision grow over a period of time.
So have you written a book yet, Gerald? Or am I talking into existence?
Nah, it's definitely in motion. I just had a conversation with someone yesterday that's in the works to helping that dream come true. I'm at roughly, I think, 126 pages right now in my book. It's called Built Brick by Brick. And I have another book that's actually called the Brick by Brick Power 3 Playbook. And it's going to be more of a pamphlet that inspires people on how to become a power athlete, a power entrepreneur, and a power influencer. And a huge thanks to a gentleman named Mr. Mark Todd that was able to inspire me to write that book.
So what don't you do? Honestly, I feel like you're going to run out of space on your Instagram bio, because it's like author, coach, speaker. What is it that you don't do?
I do it all. I cook, clean. I do it all.
Oh, so are you single?
I'm chilling.
Okay. So let's talk about some of the events that you have going on. I know you just did one. Can you talk about that and, what's next and what was it? And
Yes. So last Friday, I had a community event. We were able to just bring everyone together. We had a great time and just pretty much connecting everyone and doing some community stuff to build brick by brick.
Anything coming up? Oh, is music playing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Commercial.
So, and on that note, you're done. Oh, I think he just came in. Hello.
That was good, though.
We were just going crazy.
Nah,
This is station on
How you
right
doing?
here.
How you doing?
Junior Blacks. Gerald Hearns. Jada Brown, you know her.
Hi.
I was just in here trying to figure out how to just stop.
Yeah, that was good, though.
Yeah.
I brought an extra one of those for you.
What? Oh. Okay.
Have a good day. Mama, did you get your flash drive?
No. We recorded the show. Miss Jillian, put it somewhere now.
Yeah, of course, of course.
So beautiful. Oh, right. Yes. Of
I'm gonna
course.
take this mask off for a
Two
second.
millennials. Do y'all want it to get on either side of? Or?
Oh yeah, that'll work.
Or maybe I should take one of y'all talking.
Are y'all log on?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh.
how you doing on this one? Okay.
Yeah. Okay, you can let us see your
Stop this
shoulders.
Oh, you wanna do
Okay.
it again?
Wow.
Hey, look.
That is just.
My arm
Jada,
was-
look. Do it again.
My arm